All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the whole faith of Israel. As you can see, title's article, it says 7 revealing ways America is collapsing as Rome did. It says, here are signs that are too disturbing to ignore. And today's date being December 28th, 2020 year of prophecy. And yesterday the video I mentioned that Lord's will I'll get into a lesson comparing the ancient pagan Roman Empire and the extent of the ancient pagan Roman Empire today being so-called America. All right, and at the end of the day, it's all prophecy. When the Lord sets up an empire, okay, a dominion or a kingdom, it's all by his decree. All right, because you think about the ancient pagan Roman Empire, that wasn't the only ruling power on the planet Earth at that time, same with so-called America. But the dominion, okay, the dominance was given to that kingdom, that empire at that time, just like the Medo Persians, all right, just like the Neo-Babylonians, all right, the Assyrians, all right, the empires of old, all right, those were the dominating powers at that time, all right, and they ruled the planet Earth, given by the power of YAHAWASHI. Okay, so let me get ahead and get started. Since I mentioned it, this is Daniel's chapter 4, really quick, because lessons like this can turn out very long, so I will try to make it brief and to the point. It's Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers. And who were the watchers? The Lord's servants, the prophets. Okay, and this is Daniel speaking. All right, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. Says, and I'll read again. 17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. All right, because at the end of the day, it's all about the Lord, exalting his power. Okay, because when this kingdom ultimately gets destroyed, all the honor and glory is going to go to YAHAWASHI. Okay, because that is the one who's in control of man's affairs on the planet Earth. Okay, so what more, an empire or a kingdom? Okay, so here, let me read some of this article. Let me see. Here, I started at the top. Is historians, philosophers, and many great thinkers across time have compared the United States to ancient Roman Empire, and for good reason, since America has implemented many of Rome's customs and traditions. All right, I want to get into why it's the same exact setup. All right, it says Americans' forefathers used the Roman Republic as a template for their new government. Many people mistakenly think we live in a democracy. That's not true. We live in a republic, courtesy of the Romans. Okay, so here, I guess start here. It says America, and I'll probably those will put the link in the description, so if anybody want to get more into it, I'm just gonna run through it. It says American Rome correlations. I've become enamored with Roman history about a decade ago or whatever. It says along the way I couldn't help but notice the familiarity between the Romans and the American Empire of today. While Americans are not the imperialists that the Romans were, at least not directly, their societies are exhibiting many of the same signs. All right, you can see here the wealth gap. All right, you can go into it. All right, it says overpaid athletes, right? You have NBA players getting hundreds of $1 million contracts, all right, which is again a resemblance of the ancient Roman Empire, which back then they had gladiators. It says cheap foreign labor. All right, so here today in so-called America, you have what? Everybody going into corporations exporting, all right, their work overseas. Okay, that's why a lot of your stuff is made in China. All right, and that hurts your population here in the what's it called, the actual country, all right, that your citizens, so to say. It says let me see. It says during its peak, Roman used foreign slaves to build their massive infrastructure. And going into this time, these devils use us. Okay, going into the origins of so-called America, we were going to the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, pressed here together, like it says in the book of Jeremiah. All right, and we built up this kingdom. Okay, we're going into ultimately immigrants. Okay, like again the Chinese, the Japanese. All right, so on and so forth. Again, that's where they get the cheap labor. All right, to build these great cities. All right, here. Well, let me, because I don't want to talk too long, because these lessons can get lengthy. But here, let me get a precept. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9. It says, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Okay, so again, again, a perfect example is the ancient pagan Roman Empire. All right, and the correlations between that and so-called America. Okay, this so-called America is not new. All right, as far as the government setup. Okay, because again, this kingdom, all right, this setup has been here before. Okay, but now again, this time it's just revised. Okay, or software update. All right, so that which is done is that which shall be done. Okay, so just like the ancient pagan Roman Empire fell, all right, so-called America is going to fall. Okay, but in this fashion, it's going to be completely obliterated. Okay, because we're going to get into Revelation 13 chapter about that deadly wound being healed. It's not going to happen again. All right, it says verse 10. It says, is there anything new whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It have been already of old time, which was before us. Okay, so again, going into ancient pagan Roman Empire, all right, is here today. Okay, as so-called America. All right, it says controlling people by debt. Right, so a lot of I think I forgot where it said. It might be in the book of Proverbs that the lender is lord over the borrower. Okay, so that's how this devil lords over people on the planet Earth, of course, by his blessing the sword, but he keeps you down by having you as a debt slave. Okay, you see people here and student loan debt, car loan debt. All right, and these are all this debt is all lended out by the elite bankers. This is how they stay rich and ultimately get richer, because they get what you call of course, in today's terms, you call it, what's the word? Of course, profit. But I know it's usury, in the scriptures, but I can't think of the word right now. Interest, there it is, right? Yep, I'm just going to sprint through this. It says, money printing does not save economy. So what is happening now, you have all these, what this devil's promising is these stimulus checks, right? Just printing more money, right? And this ultimately weakening, making the economy weaker. Okay, all right. It's ultimately going into the dollar collapsing. All right, this devil setting up his new world agenda via his digital currency, which is going to be via that chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right, here. Underestimating barbarians, right? And that's going into Daniel 7th chapter, going to the 10 toes, not the 10 toes, the 10 horns. All right, Daniel 7, probably start at verse 7. All right, those families, all right, the Gauls here, the Visigoths, all right, those made war, against the Roman Empire, all right, and took it down. Okay, but this time is going to be the Lord when he invades this place via so-called UFOs, right? Training enemies in advanced warfare, right? You're teaching everybody, your tactics, selling them your blueprints, all right? That's why all other nations have nuclear missiles too, okay? Big military budgets, bankrupt big countries, right? So, going to so-called America, they spend billions and billions and billions of dollars a year on their military, right? It's all going to be in vain because this place is going to be destroyed. All right, but that shows you who's in rulership right now. It says he shall rule by the sword. Okay, thou shalt have the fattest of the earth and rule by the sword. Okay, going into Esau, Edom, the sword, white man's blessing. Sharp decline in patriotism. All right, because ultimately going into there's going to be a civil war because this place is divided. Okay, and that's another reason why this place is going to fall, because it's crumbling from the inside out. Okay, people are not happy with the condition of this country, so they're going to try to take it into their own hands, like it says in the book of Esdras. All right, coming up against kings, that's going into sedition. All right, but let me get into Revelation. Well, let me get another one quick. Let me see. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 in verse 14, it says, I know that whatsoever the Most High doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. The Most High doeth it, that men should fear before him. Again, this is how at the end of the day, when this place is taken out, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, all right, just like when the Lord took down ancient Egypt, okay, sent forth the plagues, all right, and ultimately redeemed and saved his people, going into the Israelites, your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, all right, in a dramatic fashion, all right, same way with this place here in so-called America, with the elect getting beamed up before these thermonuclear missiles touched down, all right, so what the Most High does, can nobody alter it? You can't take it back, can't add to it, okay? So this is all going to prophecy, okay? The words of YAHAWASHI have withstood the sands of time, all right, the test of time, all right, because at the day, his word is what governs existence, all right? And people are going to really learn the hard way. Verse 15, it says, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And Most High required that which is past. So, going into this devil, putting us in slavery, what he's doing today in this time still, what he did back in the time of ancient Roman Empire, the time of the Greeks, all right, the Greek the Lord YAHAWASHI is going to require that, okay? Because as a whole, Esau, Edom, so white man has not been punished for what he's been doing upon planet Earth. All right, we have, okay, going into that cup, we into slavery, all right, we're still under bondage to this day. Okay, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, he didn't have to deal with what we dealt with as a nation, okay? Because now the tables are turning and it's his time to get punished. All right, because again, going to the word of YAHAWASHI, it has all been established before the foundation of the earth. Okay, so the Roman Empire again set up, and it fallen. All right, I'm gonna get into it. Deadly wound being healed. It's all going into the plans of YAHAWASHI, and it's all planned out before the foundation of the earth. But let me get to the point. Revelation 13 and verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. Right. So, this is going into the ancient Roman Empire coming back up again. All right, we're just going to read here in the next couple of verses. All right, and setting up the same policies, the same, because, it's the two horns like a lamb going into back then in the ancient Roman Empire as the plebeians and the patricians. All right, but now today in so-called America, all right, the so-called American government, all right, you have the Republicans and the Democrats. Okay, it's the same thing. All right, and it says, speak as a dragon, that's going into those draconian laws. Okay, harsh punishments for any type of infraction. Okay, that's the point we're coming into in this country here in so-called America. All right, because just like an ancient Roman Empire, it's going to be illegal, to pray, or teach in the name of YAHAWASHI on the streets. I go into them, taking us off the corner, throwing us in prison, all right, in jail, and try to put us to death. All right, and that's going to be ultimate for everybody. Okay, because if you don't worship the beast that it goes into it, you're gonna have to be killed. Okay, but continuing verse 12, it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, okay, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So that's talking about the ancient pagan Roman Empire. All right, the ancient Roman Empire fell, all right, but now it's back again today as so-called America. As you read here, at the beginning of this, it said the American forefathers, which is comical, but going to this devil, when he came into power, he used the template of the Roman Empire as a template for their government. Okay, going into George Washington, all right, what's his name, John Adams, okay, whatever these devils' name is, Thomas Jefferson, okay, so on and so forth. And these are the people that are all on your dollar bills, on your money. Okay, verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on the earth and the side of men. So ultimately, the Lord gave him a download, okay, to where now he can shoot missiles. Okay, you think about in war, you had napalm and stuff. All right, but now today you have these thermonuclear missiles. Okay, so that's a great wonder. Okay, making fire come from heaven. All right, Most High YAHAWASHI did that to Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, this devil has that technology now to where he can do that. Okay, it goes into he deceiveth them. All right, on the earth, made an image. But guess going to the point. Okay, because it's going to go into again, which is important to talk about, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. He's going to cause everybody to take that chip, okay, to worship him, okay, because he's pretty much continuing off where he left off from the ancient Roman Empire, okay, because go back, we read in Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, there's no new thing under the sun, okay. He's going to try to complete what he tried to do back in the ancient ancient times. Okay, going to talk about, man, Esau Edom and his ambitions. All right, but it's not going to come to fruition because the Lord's going to disappoint him. So ultimately, all that, all that work, all that energy and effort and wickedness is going to come to naught. Okay, and that goes into, again, the Lord rules in the kingdom of men. He sets up who he wants to, and now's the time for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, all right, the Israelites, to be set up here in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be a kingdom forever and ever, and that's promised to you under YAHAWASHI. So with that, those words be edifying. Those words want to give all praise to YAHAWASHI, by Hashem, double honor to the elders and the apostle, great millstone, peace and blessings to all figures. Shalom.